Welcome to Real West Immigration. My name is Jazz Dillon, a registered Canadian immigration consultant, also known as a RCIC. And here we talk about real strategies, not wishful thinking, to help you secure permanent residence in Canada. Okay, so what nobody tells you about moving to Canada is this. It's not just about getting a visa. It's about creating a life that feels stable, confident, and full of opportunity from the very first day you arrive. And if you've been thinking about making Canada your home, this year could be your year. But only if you're approaching with clarity, preparation, and a real strategy. Because here's the truth. Immigration is not only about applications and approvals, it's about what happens next. It's about whether you land with confidence or with stress. It's about whether your first year becomes a launch pad or a constant struggle. And today, I want to give you the real picture. Not to discourage you, but to make sure you are prepared. Because when you know exactly what to expect, when you understand the details, you're not just surviving in Canada, you're thriving. Let's start with the costs, because this is where most newcomers feel blindsided. Okay, so housing will be your largest expense. If you're renting a one-bedroom apartment in Ontario or British Columbia, because this is where most immigrants initially settle, average around $2,300 per month. A two-bedroom for families is close to $3,000 per month, all in Canadian dollars. And in cities like Vancouver or Toronto, those numbers can be even higher depending on the neighborhood. Some families try to save by moving into the suburbs, which brings down rent, but increases transportation costs. Others choose to share housing with relatives or friends for the first few months. There's no one right answer, but you need to know these numbers before you arrive. Now let's talk about groceries. Milk is about $7 a jug. Eggs, $5 to $6 a dozen. A pack of chicken breast ranges from $13 to $18. Fresh fruits and vegetables fluctuates depending on the seasons. For example, strawberries that cost $3 in June might cost $7 in January. The average family of four in Ontario spends about $900 to $1,200 per month on groceries. And that's before eating out. A simple meal at a fast food restaurant can run you about $12 to $15 per person. A sit-down meal in a family restaurant, now we're looking at $25 to $40 or more per person. These things add up quickly if you don't plan. Then there's transportation. In Ontario, a monthly transit pass is about $156. In Vancouver, it ranges from $104 to $189, depending on how many zones you travel. But if you decide to drive, that's a different calculation. Insurance for new drivers can range from $250 to $400 a month. Add gas at about $2 per liter in some provinces, plus maintenance, parking fees, and registration. Suddenly, driving is costing you over $800 a month. So the decision between transit and driving can reshape your entire monthly budget. That's why we help our clients map out before they land. Now, here's a cost that almost nobody talks about: furnishing your life. Even if you find an apartment, you'll need a bed, a sofa, a kitchenware, and maybe a desk for work or study. A basic bed frame and mattress, that can cost you $500 to $1,000. A sofa, $600 to $1,200. Kitchen basic, $200 to $500, depending on quality. Now, given you can get some used material, maybe online for cheaper, but some clients don't prefer that. They prefer to buy it new. But if you don't budget for it, it becomes a stressful surprise. So let's pause for a moment. If you add up rent, groceries, transportation, and furnishings, you're already looking at $4,000 to $5,000 per month for a family in the first year. That's before clothing, phone bills, internet, children's school supply, or any emergencies that may arise. This is why I tell people the biggest cost in immigration isn't the application fee, it's the first 6 to 12 months of your life. So now the good news is this is all manageable with preparation. I've had clients who landed fully ready. They knew exactly what their first 3 months would cost. They had funds set aside. They had their documents organized. They had a plan for work. Because of that, they transitioned smoothly, avoided panic, and settled into their new life with confidence. On the other hand, I've seen people arrive without planning, and within months they're stressed, scrambling, even thinking of leaving. The difference between those two outcomes is plenty. Let's talk about pathways people are using in 2025. Some come through express entry, targeting categories like French, healthcare, trades, education, STEM, or agriculture. Others use the provincial nominee programs called PNPs, which often are employer-driven. Then there are the L-based work permits, spousal work permits, study permits, and of course, visitor visas that sometimes transition into longer stays. Each pathway is different, but what matters most is alignment. If you come on the wrong pathway for your long-term goal, you set yourself up for frustration. If you align your pathway with your goals, you set yourself up for success. And in immigration, it isn't only about finances and paperwork. It's also emotion. You're leaving your family, adjusting to a new culture, building new relationships, and sometimes starting your career from scratch. Some people underestimate this part, but it's real. The first winter can be tough. The first job search can be frustrating. The first holiday away from family can feel very lonely. But when you have support and when you build a plan, these challenges don't break you, they build you. Here's the even better news. With the right guidance, Canada can absolutely be the best decision you ever make. I've heard from clients who came here as students, transitioned into work permits, built Canadian work experience, and now are permanent residents. Others came through employer sponsorship and are now homeowners in Canada. Some used their French as a strategy, others leaned on provincial programs. The common thread? They didn't guess, they didn't hope, they built it. So here's my advice to you. Stop thinking of immigration as just an application. Think of it as a life strategy. It's not about a visa. It's about your first year, your long-term career, your children's future. And that requires more than just filling forms. It requires precision, timing, foresight. And that's what we do at Real West Immigration. We just don't prepare applications, we prepare people. We look at your background, your finances, your goals, and create a strategy that works for you. Whether that's through express entry, a PNP, an LMIA pathway, or a spousal option, we match you with the right program to prepare you for the realities of life in Canada. So if you're serious about making 2025 the year you move forward, here's what I want you to do. First, hit that subscribe button so you never miss the update. And second, book a consultation using the link below. That's where we'll sit down one-on-one and build your personal roadmap. We'll cover your program options, your settlement plan, the financial realities you need to be ready for. Because your Canadian dream doesn't start with luck. It starts with preparation. It starts with clarity. And it starts the moment you decide to take action. Don't wait until you're overwhelmed. Plan now, so when you land with confidence. Click the link below, book your consultation, and let's turn your Canadian dream into a confident, well-planned reality.